Ladies and gentlemen, I want to call this manifestation. This is the first NBA jersey I bought Florida Mall when I was 10 years old, and now we talking. Look, the thing I love about this documentary is this is the first time Wilt Chamberlain's going to get documented for people to see, especially the young kids. And it's about his legacy and kind of putting that forward. For you, how important is it for your legacy to last throughout?
I'm one of those kids that's, extremely interested in learning more. Wilt was one of those guys, one of those icons for our league, great ambassador for our game. I think it's important that we learn and know the history of our game that we love and appreciate so dearly.
And since I spent a lot of time here in Vegas, I'm curious. Obviously, Summer League's been here for a minute. A lot of hype, especially with Wemby. Is it time, though, for Vegas to finally get an NBA team, in your opinion?
Yeah. I think they have one the next 3 to 5 years, and I think the owner will be LeBron James.
Calling it. And then I brought up Wemby. My question I want to ask you, first off, he sold out Summer League the first 3 days. That's never happened before. That incident with Britney Spears, all of this stuff about being a global superstar, he's getting a taste of, and still a young kid. How do you think that first year is going to turn out for him?
Listen, he couldn't have been drafted to a more professional, classy franchise, and being that he's receiving all this hype. San Antonio is a place that'll keep him humble. Papa keep him humble. Tim Duncan, those guys will make sure he stays grounded and focused on the task. So he's in a great situation. He's going to get the best advice you possibly could get as a young player, moving forward in his career. I mean, that's the best situation for him.
Last question is a true or false. Tracy McGrady is a top 3 shooting guard of all time.
Honestly, I don't give a shit.
You know how many arguments I've gotten into? You don't care?
I don't. I'll let you tell it.
Tracy, appreciate you. And we're here, red carpet for Goliath. Steven, how are you, sir? How does it feel, the excitement to be here?
Well, it's a big weekend for us. We've got a fight on Saturday on Showtime. Got the premiere of a lot of hard work, a couple years of filmmaking in Goliath. It's good excuse to be in Vegas.
And we'll get to that here in a second. One thing I want to ask you, and also thank you as a huge basketball fan, is you guys are entering the basketball space, and every year, improvements, pickups, talent, whether it's Rachel Nichols, KG. How has getting into, the basketball media landscape, how's that been for the business, and how fun is that to see it grow?
It's fantastic because, the NBA really is at the center of youth culture and really American culture and worldwide culture, whether it's sneaker culture or music or fashion. And that was, really the impetus for us to get involved in saying, look, they're setting culture. We want to be in that culture. We want to be examining, guys like, whether it's someone sort of historic and legendary like Wilt Chamberlain, someone political like Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, or someone more contemporary like Russell Westbrook, like KG. I mean, all of that, and then looking at things like Shut Up and Dribble. And it all, is part of our mission to sort of look at sports where it intersects with culture and society.
And since we do a lot of work here in Vegas, we're closing out with 2 Vegas questions. First and foremost, in your opinion, you're here a lot for boxing. Do you feel that Vegas should have an NBA team, though?
I mean, that's the only thing left, right? I mean, look, we've crossed off, we've had college sports for quite a while. You've got NBA, you've got hockey, MLB on the way. You've got F1. Only thing left, I think there's an NBA team in the future.
And then my last one, you don't have to go into specifics. I heard you were at this party last weekend, Michael Rubin. I don't know if you're going to be in the music video for this party. Any tidbit that you could give out, or what was your favorite part of the experience?
What was so great was really, everybody for the first 45 minutes is there taking pictures, because everybody's clean and fresh, and all that. But then after about 45 minutes, and because it was such a, really high-end crowd, everybody put their phones away and just relaxed and got drunk. So after the first 45 minutes, it was pretty messy, and it was a lot of fun. You won't see a lot of pictures of that because everyone sort of respected it. But there's one thing I will clarify. I'll put a a damper on. I'll throw cold water on it. I'll shut it down. Tom was not with Kim Kardashian. He was not with Kim Kardashian. I promise you that.
But he did say he wants to come back to play for the Raiders, right?
You know what? I know Mark Davis was working on something with Tom, and I thought he was signing him as a quarterback. It turns out he was signing him as a co-owner, which is, the next best thing.
There it is. Steven, thank you so much for the time. We'll get drunk afterwards.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right.
We're here, Goliath, red carpet. First off, I'm going to just say it to you on camera. As a big boy, I saw you run the suicides. If you did it, I had to get my ass and run. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, Glen? How are you?
Doing good, man.
Look, we're here for this, and Wilt Chamberlain. Like, for you, what does Wilt Chamberlain mean?
Oh my God, just the essence of basketball. You think about all the myths, you think about everything you hear about, the 100 points, the 20,000 women. That's what I want to know about. That's why I'm here. My friend, I told him, I said, you got to tell that story, man. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about it, man. I'm looking forward to it. You think about Wilt and what he's done for the game. It's just huge. You know what I mean? Like, he transformed the game. So he's a legend in my book. So it's just great for guys like Kevin, who really understands basketball, to get with Showtime, to really like, hey, this is dope. Let's get it done. You know what I mean? And we need more of that, more stories. So I'm all for it, man. I love Wilt.
No, I love it. This is the first time it's being documented ever. And you're talking about past history. We spent a lot of time here in Vegas. We trying to make history. How do you feel about the rumors and everything about an NBA team coming to this city? Does this city need it?
Bring it. It's lit in Vegas. They need a basketball team. We got all this money here. Might as well bring the basketball team. You got all the money in the world. You know what I mean? Vegas is going to support it. You know what I mean? The fans, the people that move from LA here that are Laker fans, the people that got all type of people that move here, from different states that love the game. So I think it'll be great for them.
And my last question, of course, Summer League, Victor Wembanyama selling out the weekend, having that incident with Britney Spears, dealing with a lot. How do you think he's going to fare out in this first season?
I think he gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Right now he look like a little baby giraffe, but after that he gonna be good. Get some muscle on him. I feel like Tim Duncan gonna have him eating a lot of hamburgers. You know what I'm saying? Getting his weight up. Pop gonna make sure he sleep in and eat good. I'm not worried about San Antonio. They're gonna take good care of him.
There it is, Glen Big Baby Davis. Thank you for the time, my friend. Jim, let's start off. We're here in Vegas, and I got my colleague right here in the newspaper business, and of course the news of the New York Times and the LA Times in the sports section. How do you feel about that and that going away?
Very sad. Very sad. I grew up in that era. I was born in the 50s, so I was a newspaper junkie. Obviously, everything's gravitated toward the internet, and you have to move with time. And the passage of time takes its toll on everything. Didn't think that we would see these sports sections, the LA Times, New York Times, virtually not having, in the New York Times case, not having what it is that we all knew, and the iconic writers and the prestige that it had. And so it's just sad. But this is what happens. People call this progress. In this instance, it's sad to see that, if that's in fact what it is. I think it's a huge loss.
And you talk about progress and debating on if it is progress or not. If you expand that with sports media and kind of, I guess we'll call it the debate culture that kind of thrives right now, how do you feel about that kind of taking over, like what's getting the most views and clicks and all that?
Well, I came here to talk about Wilt Chamberlain, so I'm not going to get into a whole philosophical discussion on all of that. I just think that, again, you have to live in the time that we're in, and that's the times that we're in. And if you don't, it's going to pass you by. That doesn't mean you have to like it. That doesn't mean that you can't try and combat it if you don't like it. But it also means that that's where we're at. So you have to know where you were, where you are, and where you're going. And that's where we are. I don't know where we're going. You didn't have that thing in your hand 12 years ago, 14 years ago, right? So we don't know. We don't know exactly. But you better be prepared to know that one thing will happen. it's going to change.
It's damn right. And to your point, we are here to talk about Goliath and Wilt Chamberlain. To me, this is very important because it kind of documents one of the greatest legends. For you, how great is it that Wilt Chamberlain kind of gets this platform for people to know his story and his greatness on and off the court?
Well, he carried that torch, and he was the guy that, you know, everybody had all eyes on. And if he'd have been in this era, in the social media era, in the internet era, he would have broken this thing because he had the personality, he had the intellect, and he had the talent. Okay? And that combination, we think that Shaq is something, and he is something. But Wilt would have really thrived in this era or any era. And I'm glad that it gets the exposure now to a whole group of people who really don't know a whole lot about him. Everybody knows the name. Wilt the Stilt, the Dipper. You know, they know the name. But do they know why they know the name? Now they're going to find out why.
Jim, I got to let you know, last thing, born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, and my birthday's on July 8th. So the decision holds a special place in my heart in a strange way, but thank you for the time, Jim.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.